Okay, we'll give it another 2 minutes to get started, but definitely interact with me if you're on the Zoom call and let me know what goals you have so that I can help you bring hypnosis in a tangible way. Okay. I hear that. Thank you. Hypnosis is so effective at changing habits and changing any emotion that you feel like you want some support in, making big goals seem achievable right now. So give me the specifics or give me any general direction so that I can tailor this and make these techniques really accessible. Nice. Okay. We'll give just one more minute. Okay. Hmm. Very helpful. So any specific goals or anything that you're hoping to experience with hypnosis, even things outside of what you may have thought was possible. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'm so happy that you are here and that I can bring hypnosis to you in a very accessible way. Most people expect that me as a hypnotist is the one doing hypnosis. But when you think about it as self hypnosis, you can understand how you're already doing it. And then working with a professional hypnotist is just having a teacher. Now, a student can learn without a teacher, but a teacher needs the student to be the teacher. I don't want a dependency on being your teacher because you as a student, you having this brain, you noticing that it's self-hypnosis and you are already doing it. Once you understand the simplicity of these techniques, you can do them in your everyday life. And this is what makes this opportunity so accessible. When you understand that these ancient modalities, which have survived the test of time because they absolutely work, how you can use these in everyday life. A lot of times people ask me, well, is hypnosis like meditation or positive affirmation, even goal setting, smart goals? Hypnosis isn't those things. Those things are hypnosis because hypnosis is really the overarching of, of any process of making suggestions to your mind, to your conscious mind, through goals, through affirmations, through intentions, and through your subconscious mind, which these are the emotional draw. Now, when we have an emotion towards a goal, most often we are inspired because we feel we don't have that goal. And so we must do or stop doing some sort of activity to then later get that goal. What is that really telling our brain? It's telling our brain that we don't have the goal now, we'll have the goal in the future. Well, when you think about your brain as your body is only ever in the now. And really, it's only this thing that could go into the future. And this thing just isn't as big as the entire rest of your whole body, your whole mind, your whole subconscious. So it's easier to recognize you doing your own hypnosis and you dehypnotizing any story that is limiting you. Now, a few of you in the chat have told me what specific goals that you want, right? You want to stop doing this. You want to start doing that. These goals are what your mind has told you are stepping stones to get to that feeling that state of what I'll call success. And what does that state feel like for you? You don't have to really think or describe it. Instead, see if you can experience it, even right here in this moment. Don't feel like you're trying to wait for these things to make sense or for me to give you direct suggestions. Instead, just follow this invitation to experience with your own hypnosis state that good, successful feeling. Maybe it just feels like you can breathe easier. Maybe it feels like this pressure that most people describe to me, which is sort of on them or sometimes in them as a tension or just incessantly nagging them is these chatty characters in their mind. Maybe that pressure or stress, maybe it just lessens. Now, in the thousands of clients that I've worked with, and the over over a decade I've spent studying so many of the ancient and modern philosophies of these techniques, it really does boil down to be that simple, to subtract out the negative experience of what I was calling stress or tension, and to add in that presently achieved success state. It's that simple. And if you could do that technique every single day, there be nothing out of reach for you because the inner subconscious autopilot would start to walk out the everyday habits. And that's how we achieve our goals, through consistency. So again, don't feel this cognitive, intellectual pressure of understanding what I'm saying. It's about applying these techniques. You don't need a therapist, you don't need a coach. You can do these things for yourself. So I've organized the entire gambit of all of these different categories for techniques. And if you go to hallhypnosis.com, you can access lifetime access to all of these organized techniques. I give discounts. You could make installment payments for 3 months or 6 months, or you could get 40% off. For the coupon code is 40OFF, or 20% off for 20OFF. And I continue to add to these tools to make it as done for you as possible, so that you could literally just rest and relax and hear that trance talk, which so many people tell me that they like. And I will just trance talk these structures, these equations, these formulas for you to get away from your problem and bring in your success. Now, most people get stuck on that getting rid of the problem phase. And think about this as subtraction. Well, we learn in school addition first. And so if you're starting with subtraction, but you've sort of lost touch with your own personal self-hypnotizing power of addition, then really you've just become very associated to having this problem. Oh, I'll feel happy once this problem, this stress, this addiction, this bear on my back, once that is gone, then I'll feel happy. Then in the future, which to the body is much as invisible, because it's just not now. And if you don't have the success now, then you don't have the success. And that is the subconscious hypnosis story that people are telling themselves. And I hear it all the time in their language, because they come in and they say, Lauren, I have this problem. And I say, well, you have it and you don't want it. Why don't you get rid of it? Why don't you hand it to me? Now I've got it. You don't have it. You had it. And their brain has this sense of, it can't be that easy. It can't be that quick. In the industry, we know it can be, but we'll make it as long or as complicated as your brain decides that it has to be. So know that you really are in control. Now, a hypnotist, a professional, that teacher can come in and present it in a new way. They can walk you through some different exercises so that you can experience it in a new way, but you are not dependent on them. You could have done these things yourself. And really, when you remove away the fluff, you'll see how these techniques are a part of our everyday ideas for how to be in that success of our best self. So I want to start there. I want to start with the addition. And this is a technique that I call resource allocation. So I'm going to look through some of you who are chatting with me in Zoom on specific goals that you have, because I'm seeing, we want to subtract things away, but I'm starting with what can we add? A word I hear a lot from people, after we sort of dig through that noise of their story and all the sort of pain or emotions about how long they feel it's going to take or how long they feel they've been without it. This word I hear all the time is freedom. What is freedom for you? What is that experience of freedom in your body? If you could just maybe even close your eyes, if you're in a setting where you could do that right now. Just when we close our eyes, sometimes it really helps us to focus more. Um, you don't have to have your eyes closed, and you could do all of the hypnosis techniques without your eyes being closed. But for you in this exercise, if it's acceptable for whatever setting you're in, to close your eyes, freedom, and just breathe. Imagine you're breathing, and as you're inhaling, you're increasing freedom just a little bit. Maybe you could picture a dial, like a radio tuner, and you're just twisting freedom 1% more, and then 1% more, and then another percent, and you're increasing your feeling of freedom, because feelings are stronger than thoughts. And our thoughts, our brain, actually really has a affection for the struggle, for the drama, for that adrenaline of fixing the problem. You want no problems, and that is the state that you're at when you're in freedom, when you are free from any problem, when you are free from your inner critic. Just feel that relief. That's another big word I hear all the time, relief, when these problems lessen and that freedom increases. So do you see how we're adding in the resource and then we're subtracting out everything else? And then we just compound that success. First we had freedom, and then we had relief. Maybe you want some peace. Peace could be like a cool breeze blowing in from one side or the other, both sides, all around you. Maybe it's spiraling up from under you, and you just feel slightly lifted. Your heart feels lifted, your mind, all of the clutter from inside the mind just in this moment starts to take a back seat. Maybe it could fade away. Just keep adding in the positive resources. We don't have to contend with the problems. If we can flood into our subconscious this illusion or hallucination or imagining that we are feeling so good right now, so confident, so free, so peaceful. We're going through these self-applied techniques for hypnosis. Now, I've been seeing the hypnosis word in so many different places in the media. I mean, you can imagine this is, my passion. And so I'm alert to it. And I so often will see in shows or in commercials that they're using the word hypnotize to sort of mean that you've been taken over with control. The reality is that You are the one who has control on you at even the very deepest levels of trance. Now, I've studied hypnosis for a long time from many different conventional and holistic, unconventional schools. It is just not accurate that someone else could do something like this to you with a negative effect. So if you have any negative effect in your life, if you don't feel absolutely free, absolutely peaceful, just and flared with positive confidence, then somewhere there's something that you are doing that is limiting you. And I don't ever look at any of this as malice, where it's not about going into the past and opening up to analyze any of your wounds. Instead, let's just flood in that safe, secure, forgiven, loved state. And then right here in the present, or at least where your subconscious is considering reality, we can move things forward and we can just flood in even more resources. Not in the future, right? The confidence doesn't only have to come in the future when you stop this bad habit. Feel proud of yourself right now. It doesn't matter if you made a mistake today. It doesn't matter if you're doing something that you feel is a mistake right now. You could be in the middle of a binge and there's a box of Oreos that you're still chewing in your mouth. That's already in the past. Our future is really where we have this opportunity as hypnotists, all of us hypnotists. Okay, so it's not just me, it's not just maybe anyone on here who's a friend or in the industry, which is a small industry. And so I encourage you to take these techniques, don't be scared of them, and don't get limited by the conscious mind waiting to feel what hypnosis feels like. How do you feel right now? I mean, this is what hypnosis feels like. It feels like how you're feeling right now. There are times where you may feel more active, and there are times where you may feel less active, maybe even consciously being asleep. But hypnosis is happening through those times. It is a suggestibility of information, not just language, not only ideas, which is a compiling of language and thoughts, but at the core, it's feelings. And the simplicity is you only ever feel one way at a time. So you go to hallhypnosis.com. You can find access to techniques like resource allocation. Now, here's another technique that I think is really interesting for people, because I had a client and student, and now he's working in the modern day hypnosis program as an ambassador to bring hypnosis in a very accessible way, no matter what your beliefs are, because Lynn was very analytical. And so this technique, swish pattern, was more helpful because it was more direct with instructions. As I was saying earlier, to add in your resources so that you start to push away, which just naturally subtracts those negative things. Linison is connected to that kinesthetic feeling. So being more analytically minded, it was helpful for him to consider, here's the positive, future tense result of what I want. And here's my now state. Here's the problem state. Here's me lacking. And I can just picture the two of those. And then I can just imagine them swapping, right? Or if you could imagine that for him, often it was that future state was further and the problem state was closer. And then it was just imagining that those alternated and changed place. It doesn't take a long time. You don't have to do these techniques every single day, day after day for weeks in order to get this change. It can really, and usually is, so instant, almost unconscious. And a lot of times, and Lynn was one of them, we had this experience where it's like is the problem, really fixed? Or how do we, confirm that the problem is really fixed? Really, it's that easy. It's that quick. This is permanent now, because we want that tangible proof. But the proof is going to be when you walk out in your everyday life and you are just different. You are just free. You are just doing the things and feeling the way, and the body is working in the way. I mean, there's not only mental changes that can be made, but physical changes. I mean, chronic pain, chronic physical pain, hair regrowth, eyesight healing. The mind can do anything, and there's no fear, and there's no one size fits all process for that goal, because you'll have lots of goals. And even that one goal of, let's say, weight loss, is this for you portion control? Is this moving, the body and increasing that metabolism, and stamina? Is it more about positive self-talk? Because don't we know a lot of people who are technically a fit size, but their body dysmorphia doesn't allow them to see it, and so they don't love their body, which that is the end goal. For anybody talking about a healthy relationship with their body, the end goal is that they love their body. And so you don't get to the goal state through a different path. You start with that success, that love for your body. Now, Anna, another client, student, who's doing phenomenal with these techniques, she was already in the coaching industry, where Lynn had no background in personal development, psychology. He found hypnosis as a last resort after no other means were helping him with his goal. Anna had been studying for years these ancient esoteric arts and had an interest in hypnosis, but wasn't able to find the real formulas of how to apply hypnosis in this sort of waking trance way. Because most people talk about hypnosis as a meditation, as a bedtime story, that guided imagery, relax, 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 and here now you are hypnotized. The way I'm looking at this in the modern day approach to these ancient techniques is that all of it is hypnosis, and we can see that there's this very simple formula in the background. So giving Anna these techniques, she not only applied them to her life, but to the lives of the clients that she was already supporting, and getting change and people's stories in one conversation. And these stories with the people that she's told me she's worked with, some of them had very heavy needs, and they'd been trying therapies for a really long time. Now, my angle is not in any way to look down on other techniques. If it's working for you, that's my intention, is that you find something that works. I just know that the hypnosis techniques are safe, they feel amazing, they work really quickly, and they're easy for you to understand and to apply in your everyday techniques. So if you go to Whole Hypnosis, get those coupons if you want them. That's why they're there. That's why there's a 20% or a 40%. That's why you can make payments, so that it's not about you finding any stress about getting these products. It's about knowing that you probably already have purchased products or been looking for these techniques and some of that fluff. And now I'm giving you this lifetime access. And it's not only about you having them, it's about you using them. So one last technique that I think will be great, and then I'm going to go through a live experience. Now, if you have any particular goals other than what's been mentioned, then you can let me know right here. So I think this technique is going to be just perfect for these goals that we see. So this is our timeline. Now, I love thinking about the Charles Dickens, what is it? Oh, now I can't think. The Christmas Carol, I think that is the name of his play. But I just keep thinking Nightmare Before Christmas, but maybe it's because it's Halloween time. But in that Charles Dickens Christmas Carol story, there are the three paths. And when we think about a timeline for hypnosis techniques, we can use that same sort of angle. Now, consider one path where you just keep doing, and being and having all the things that you're doing and being and having, right? This kind of less than, this kind of, maybe severely, maybe only slightly, but it's dissatisfied, right? Just really, really imagine yourself. Here you are now. There you'd be next month. There you'd be, next season, a couple of years. When you're 98 years old. Picture yourself. There's nothing that's changed, and you have that discontentment, no matter how big. And now imagine that you've tried. You've forced, you've stressed, you've bargained with yourself, right? If it's something about weight loss, you said, I'll never do the chocolate cake or the cheese or dairy. I'm cutting out all the things that I love so that I'm really going to be efforting to get this goal state. Or if we could think about with some sort of habit addiction, vaping, then you've used willpower to force this thing away. And not that it has to be painful to use that willpower. I know I've sort of painted it like that, but I'm just creating this next path where you can see that you do get your goal, but it doesn't feel the way that maybe your inner subconscious, which is like a child, it's like a 10-year-old child. It doesn't feel pleasurable like that child would had hoped it could be. And so then this third path. Now, I'm directing these for myself and they're going towards the right. Where is your third path? Because you know which one I'm going to say, don't you? You know that this is going to be the one that you float on, the one that your energy is just, oh, um it's increasing just to this. It's like a fizzle. It's just you just feel so wonderful because not only have those limitations moved off of you, but you get to enjoy this freedom of your goal here now over the next couple of hours, tonight when you lay down, and then you wake up tomorrow just so confident and refreshed. And then every day, right? It just gets better and better and better. Those forward moments of a wonderfully happy life. Now, the mind would want to maybe think about how this path can happen or could happen, meaning the mind is trying to really, let's say, be a good author and write a nice story. Words do have power because of the emotion underneath them. So instead of getting distracted by which words are the most, poetic or descriptive for you, just relax the mind. Get inside of the body and just understand the clarity of those three choices. One was numb. The next was work. And the third, it's almost like this path where I'd said you were floating. And it's because you don't have to force or effort in any way. Just the goal just comes on to you. So notice if that perfect path for you was over to the right. Maybe it was, higher up. There's no analysis needed about which choice you made. Just stay focused on what you noticed you had decided and see if you could hold that focus for about 20 seconds. Doesn't sound like a long time, but trust me, it's not instant. And that amount of time is adequate to getting the chemistry within your body to change. And the more that you apply these techniques, the more you'll start to notice that feeling. And that's why I'm not limiting, any person that wants to apply hypnosis techniques to say, these are the only techniques, these are the categories, affirmations, SMART goals, those techniques can be techniques that work for you, but it doesn't need to be complicated and it doesn't need to take a long time. I want your story to feel absolutely changed. And I want to do that today. I want to do some guided imagery so that we bridge that gap, because remember, a lot of people will feel this sense of, okay, Lauren's that hypnotist and here I am, this person receiving hypnosis. All the hypnosis that you receive is because of your self hypnosis. I'm just the one, just in this moment, just in this time, this exchange of this live demonstration. I'm directing you to the hypnosis. You can direct yourself to self hypnosis, and if you want those self applied hypnosis techniques, this is something that you could passively experience. If you like this trance talk that we'll do in just a little bit, you could passively experience all of these formulas for understanding the bigger picture of hypnosis, because it has been around for thousands of years in so many different cultures, and we just continue to make new um, recipes for techniques, just like we might continue to make new recipes in the kitchen. And the way to have that confidence in your kitchen is for you to recognize that you are in there and you have all of the tools. And so that's what this does, is it gives you all of the tools, and you go to hallhypnosis.com, and then that's where you can apply self-hypnosis with 24-hour access. You could apply hypnosis like so many top achievers and athletes. They are using techniques like this. I see a lot of other counselors and coaches and processes using these techniques. But if you only use a technique to help you remove that problem, know that that problem was being tended to by your unconscious, because in some way it was a solution for you. We don't have to understand how our problems are solutions. I want you to just understand that if you're only doing half of the story and you're not finishing the story, which is essentially to say right now, here in this live moment of you living, of you specifically. Okay, I'm talking to you specifically. This live moment for you to feel like you are free, like you have success, like you are confident, like you're peaceful. Not you will be later, when or once, whatever, but you already have confirmed to yourself that third path is yours. And remember all the doubt and all the sense of, oh, that's too good to be true, or I've never seen it like that in the past. All of that mental noise, know that the mind really does want a little a problem to create the adrenaline and push back with, but your heart just wants to be, and your heart is just so much more powerful than the brain. Those of you in the office who've worked with me in person, the Heart Math Institute, so the Heart Math biofeedback device, which I think is just a fantastic tool, and you don't need the device to do the technique, but it teaches you how to be present to that heart and let the mind let go of this problem that is trying to make into a mountain, that molehill into a mountain thing. We don't have to listen to the mind. And in fact, we can do better hypnosis when we get away from all of that description of those stories and we just change the problem. And what problem? Because actually we're just flooding in, we're adding in so much solution. So let's go through this technique. And so we're going to take 10, 15 minutes, get yourself comfortable. And thank you so much for being here with me today. And as you get yourself just comfortable enough, okay? It's not going to disturb the effect of this if there is anything distracting you. But I would like for you to soften any stress and let go of any expectation. We're not looking for a later state. You're just noticing right now how your body feels. And maybe as you're noticing the body, you can feel this appreciation. The heart, which is always working in there in that body of yours. Notice naturally the breathing. You don't have to force. You don't have to work to do the breathing. But it can feel nice sometimes to take fuller and slower breaths, rhythmic. Maybe you could pretend when you're breathing in that you're breathing in more peacefulness and confidence. This was the exact right place for you to be. You breathe out and feel relief. We're just going to flood in the positive state. So relax those eyes now, relax the whole body, relax the face, the forehead, the chin, the neck, the ears. Feel your shoulders sink comfortably. Feel your spine as you're breathing. Feels like your spine is gently stretching, sort of yawning. And then you exhale and you can just release into that sleepy, safe, comfortable state. And as you keep breathing, any place in your body that needs a little more attention, a little more softness, warm, gentle love, you can breathe into that place, particularly in your body. And you just breathe comfort into your body. And you release and breathe out. And I want you to just stay in that gratitude now. This sense of optimism as hope is a very, very powerful emotion. It's a chemistry in your body that actually can heal things within your body as you're just marinating, as you're breathing in and breathing out, and you begin to notice perhaps your heart rhythm now, or you know that your heart is beating. And you can sort of smile at your heart, and you might feel your heart smile back at you. And you feel proud. And now we're going to move into this experience of feeling content. So begin to picture yourself in the center of a circle. And it starts to become as though you feel heavier, safe, and in control. You are doing this in your own imagination, just sinking down more. And it's like as this heavy weight in the center, as you in the circle, starts to settle, then that layer around your circle begins to stretch, allowing more capacity. The best things in life right ahead for you today and the next couple of days and over the next few weeks and in a month forward. You'll just be so giddy and happy to see what is coming in for you. And you can start to taste those emotions right now or smell them. Maybe experience the textures of those emotions, pleasure, security, abundance, whatever the words. Notice one at a time those feelings as you could see them or hear them. Maybe allow a few of them to move onto your body, and then all of you becomes even more comfortably heavy and sinking and stretching. You can now imagine a additional layer outside of your circle. And it just continues on this way, that you're relaxing down. And every circle out around you now, these ripples, as it's just energy. And these ripples, you could pretend seeing or feeling or just trusting and knowing that they're there, are going out around you, everywhere around you, even above you. And they're rippling out from you. And I'd called this center of your experience contentment. And you can begin to know that that feeling is a full heart. And for you, if it's comfortable, if you want your heart to be almost sleeping, just so deeply relaxed, or if you start noticing that heart rhythm as it becomes more powerful, and all the muscles around you, even the bones within you, even the fluid, all of the thoughts, all of it continues physically to drop and sink and relax and be just focused on that energy in your heart. And it's like a magnet. And those ripples now start to have more pulse, more reach. In this moment, some of those really deep and important goals for you are energetically becoming achieved. Experience yourself receiving that good feeling and intensify it by feeling your own good feeling, so proud of yourself, so wonderful. You know you are in the right place, the exact right time. If your mind feels left out and tries to jump inside of our story, just gently imagine hugging or quieting the mind, lulling it back into that comfortable, restorative reset. Just letting your neck and your head and your shoulders, even your legs and arms, feel so cool and cozy now. Sinking even further down into a warm, gentle, peaceful. Maybe you could picture everything's dark, like a cave, or you're just sinking so far down today. You're going into a place where there are no problems, a safe, restorative state of being. And your energy just keeps stretching out. And we can now notice a timeline of life into the future time, into past previous times. And your energy is pulsing through as a cleansing frequency, helping you neutralize things, detach from anything that was no longer serving you. You can unhinge from responsibilities You can let your energy taste this speed of freedom. Making this change into your heart's feeling of awareness. Imagine now this pulse up from the heart inside your body into the center of your mind. And it's as though warmth is now moving inside of your brain. We are changing actual things, actual brain channels, changing stories. Let's flood into the brain this strength of optimism. You don't need to think or remember what I'm saying or what you're seeing or doing. Follow these suggestions, simple instructions. You are in control. In addition to that comfort inside your mind, it may be helpful for you to find your own experience of confidence. You've done this for yourself through your focus, through your own creativity. Your imagination changed some of this. You individually see this in a specific way. And once you understand that you can do this to make even physical, or behavioral change in your body, in your life, you can become a teacher to others. So feel that confidence within yourself and feel that optimism. Just feel happy within yourself. And lastly, you could anchor in that feeling. You could begin to wiggle gently, take your own time. Just we stretch the fingers, find those fingers, stretch the toes, and then let a few of those fingers flow together and just pressing the fingertips together, just a gentle, natural anchor. Or if you prefer, you could begin to tap or just stroke on one of your earlobes. Just a gentle kinesthetic anchor. We could use a visual anchor. You could keep your eyes closed just another minute longer. And with your eyes closed, you can start wiggling those eyes side to side so you can relax your hands now. You can get all the way back physically relaxed, just a little bit deeper now, comfortable, feeling so proud of yourself. And just moving your eyes behind your eyelids and spell the word yes. YES. Notice the color, see the shape of those letters, really wiggling those eyes around. These are like windshield wipers to your brain. And you've got that visual or that kinesthetic anchor, and you can start opening your eyes back up and stretching and smiling. Wonderful. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you so much. I I go through the hypnosis every time that I'm guiding it, and this is why it really is just the most accurate and an honest way that I could explain how you could do this for yourself, or if you're interested for others, is for you to have these techniques. It's not someone else that has to do them for you. You can do them. You can do them every single day. To make habit change. To change behaviors, even for chronic pain. It's not necessary every single day. It's not like a placebo or something that gets ingrained after 21 times. But honestly, they're pretty quick. and effective. So maybe you do it every day. It's up to you. Go to wholehypnosis.com, check out the self-applied hypnosis techniques, do the payment plan, use the coupon codes, do these techniques in your life, and I'll just say liberate yourself from your mind, which, our mind is beautiful, but it's really the heart that is here experiencing the story and sort of reciting to us what our story is. And so just know that the mind loves drama and the heart just loves variety. So sometimes that means drama, but don't ever feel stuck in the drama. If the mind is directing you towards drama, know that there's always a peaceful place that you can rest and reset. And so I hope that that was the imagery that you got connected with today. I know I'm on different streams here. So if you didn't get to catch all of this, I will do these workshops every couple of weeks. It's interactive on Zoom, and it's just the way that I want to bring these things tangible and accessible, so that you can self-apply these hypnosis techniques. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and for your attention and for your participation. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. And I am signing off. I just hope you have the best day. Okay. We'll talk soon. Bye. Bye.